What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Main Event Podcast with me, your host, Reza. And joining me on the main event this week is none other than Arif. How are you doing today?
Not too bad. I'm actually very, very well, Rosa. Thank you very much for calling me in there. Commiserations out to Imran. He's a little bit ill at the moment, so if you can send your well wishes into to us at the Main Event Podcast, we'll make sure he gets those. But other than that, looking forward to a great show.
Indeed. Well, it looks like we stayed true to our word as well. We've uploaded again, baby steps. Apologies for not posting anything over the last few months, but we are back better than ever. If you missed it, then we did record an episode last week that you can go back and listen to and download. We discussed a number of topics from Hulk Hogan saga to The Undertaker's return, things like that, so please do go and check that out as well. You can tune in on a variety of platforms and outlets. It's completely up to you where you decide to listen to us. You can choose from Podomatic, Mixcloud, TuneIn Radio. That's a new one for us. I didn't even know we were on that until I got an email.
TuneIn Radio?
I have no idea. I'll take it. You can subscribe and never miss an episode on iTunes as well as SoundCloud. And you can also subscribe and listen to every single one of our episodes on our YouTube channel. Search for the Main Event Podcast on all of those platforms and you will definitely find us. Finally, keep in touch with us with all the happenings here at the Main Event Podcast. Everything from emailing us on tmepodcast@gmail.com. Arif is still waiting. Yep. You can follow us on Twitter.
I have push notifications on, so I don't know what. Maybe we're just
eager.
They fast forward through this bit.
Maybe.
Don't fast forward.
You can follow us on Twitter at TME Podcast. Again, subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Main Event Podcast, and please go over to our Facebook page as well, The Main Event Podcast WWE, where we're posting regularly some breaking news, headlines, rumours, etc. And thank you to the influx of fans who are liking the Facebook page as well.
Yeah.
It really does mean a lot, and we hope you decide to stick around as well. Incredible
1
number
million
now.
fans strong at this point. It's crazy.
Really. Now then, let's not waste any more time. Let's get on with today's show.
We're rounding up from 1,000.
Hope you're ready. I've pressure's on you today. No Imran to rely on. I've picked out some interesting topics for us to discuss, I know with your help as well. Let's get down to it. Where shall we start? I think we should go with, is ZZ tough enough? ZZ from Tough Enough this year. Last episode took place last night. It was. What did you make of the episode as a whole?
Well, I'm sure we're going to talk about it sooner rather than later. But The Miz as the new host. New judge. He's the new judge. Yeah, as the new judge, fantastic, perfect choice. Made a bombshell of a decision last night. Obviously, as you're probably already aware, if you aren't, spoilers right now. Marta was eliminated, unfortunately.
Surprising.
But yeah, sorry, going back to the original question, ZZ, no, he's not tough enough at all. I think his character and his comedic side is perfect for the WWE. Don't get me wrong. He's basically the embodiment of a comedy character, a Santino Marella, or someone of that sort of aspect, someone of that sort of size, someone of that sort of style as well. But unfortunately, he's just not good enough in the ring. He's not built for the WWE, and he doesn't want it as much as the other competitors. What do you think?
I agree with you. I do think there are certain aspects he can bring to WWE to make people smile, but considering who he's up against, he probably doesn't deserve it. I think the person we were rooting to win was eliminated last week. Another favourite was eliminated this week, so it's just a matter of how many other people are going to suffer because of his comedic character. I don't think he's tough enough, but I can see him working for the WWE in some capacity.
No, agreed. And I think he'd be a perfect fit as maybe a manager or possibly down the road. I think he's too young to be there right now. Yeah. But as a manager or maybe just a superstars wrestler or a dark match wrestler or something like that. But he's not. Yeah, he's not tough enough, which is, I guess, what the question is.
Yeah.
And I guess what the show's about.
Yeah, we've seen him not do well in a number of challenges. But the thing was easy. Do you think if the WWE do keep him, do you think he will ever get into, how do I put it? He won't be in shape like many of the guys. But do you think he'll get in shape enough to be a valuable asset? Because this week we have seen people, as you told me, leads and everyone saying he's working hard, but we did see Marder calling him
Hey,
out.
Marder called him out.
Exactly, and he's saying he isn't working as hard. Do you think if ZZ can put the work in, regardless of if he wins or loses, do you think he has it in him to get in shape and actually make a serious go of it? Or was Marder right that he doesn't want it?
I had no sour cream though. I had no sour cream. Yeah, but this is the thing. It's for Marder to come out and say that. Obviously, there was a lot of anger in his voice. There was a lot of anger in him as well because of the situation that he'd been put in.
Understandable.
Completely understandable. But if you really look at it and you really compare ZZ to the rest of the competitors there, he doesn't want it as much, and therefore he's not going to be a John Cena. He's not going to be Dolph Ziggler. But even on the other side of it, you've got bigger men in the WWE that work hard. Look at Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Perfect example, prime example. He's not got the beach body build, but he works himself off, his butt off every single time in that ring.
So it can be done.
Bray Wyatt, exactly the same. Exactly the same. He works his butt off in the ring. Like, day in and day out, he does what he needs to do to get over. And I can't see ZZ as this sort of person. Now, granted, he is 19. But then Patrick was 19.
He's got the experience as well. Well, not more, like, tons of experience, but more experience to get his foot in the door. And
experience aside, he wanted it more. Yeah. And it's a shame that someone like Patrick, someone like Marder this week, they've succumbed to ZZ's popularity, and they've ultimately had to leave the show because of it. And I think it's a joke.
Who was it that put ZZ in the bottom 3 this week? Was it Daniel Bryan?
It was Paige.
Paige.
No, it was Daniel Bryan. I'm testing you. Daniel Bryan put ZZ in the bottom 3. Yeah, Paige put Sarah Lee and Amanda in the bottom 3, and
yes, that's what it was.
Miz put Marder in the bottom 3, and then Miz saved Amanda. What do you think of the Miz saving Amanda?
That's what I was going to come to. The Miz's first night obviously caused a stir. What I thought of the Amanda save, I thought it was surprising. When he said, "I'm going to make a save," I just assumed, okay, Marder's going to be saved.
But then that wouldn't have made sense because he put Marder in the bottom 3.
No, that's when I forgot. Then I realised, okay, I didn't agree with his reasoning for saving Amanda. Paige's reaction said it well. Like, what you're really saving her based on the fact that, I quote, she's hot. Maybe she can bring a lot more to the table. I don't know. We've got to see it yet. At the minute, she's just Gigi's whatever she is.
Sidekick.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think it does take a lot more than looks. It should take a lot more than looks to remain in the competition. But it's the Miz's decision. He wanted to cause a stir, and he's done it. So, successful first night for him.
The Gigi Amanda situation reminds me of the Tamina and whoever Tamina has hung out with situation, because Amanda does seem like the sidekick. Well, no. I guess Amanda's the more vocal one, though, out of the two.
I think so, but I think that's clever from Gigi's part, though, because she shows in the challenges.
Oh, she stays under the radar as well, in everything else that's going on.
Yeah.
I really like Amanda. I think that you need that fire underneath you. And I think Miz said it best, where he said, just because the WWE Universe is booing her doesn't mean that she doesn't need to be here, or she doesn't deserve to be here. Rather, the fact that they're booing her proves that she deserves to be there.
Gets the reaction, doesn't she?
Exactly. But then again, this the tough enough aspect in general is a popularity contest, which is shown by the fact that she got 17% of the vote, something ridiculously small. Whereas she gets a reaction every single week, and it's people like Amanda that deserve to be there, people like Gigi that deserve to be there, and Sarah Lee who don't, and ZZ who don't. But unfortunately, the latter two there are going to be the two who win it.
Do you think? Well, I mean, were you surprised by the amount of votes Amanda got? Put it this way: if Miz didn't save her, we'd be talking about Amanda going home.
Yeah.
This week, were you surprised at the amount of votes she received?
No, because of the context of the show. Because the context of the show dictates that it's the WWE Universe to decide. Ultimately, it's the people who see an hour's worth of footage altogether, which is how it is, that put these people in the bottom 3, and then it's another group of people who only see an hour's worth of footage who eventually vote people off or save people. So no, I'm not surprised. would have rather, and I think this just goes back to what we were saying last week with Imran as well. I think I would have rather that the trainers be the ones who decide.
Yeah.
Ultimately, decide altogether who is eliminated, not who's in the bottom three, but collectively decide who's eliminated. They have a vote, and they pick their top three, and then ultimately whoever is the most likely to leave, or who has the most vote, is the person who leaves.
I think it does make sense. I mean, they're with them, pretty much every single day. What we see on TV is obviously edited. They go on this journey with them. The judges see what we see.
Exactly.
So it probably is difficult to judge, probably unfair. You're not seeing everything that's going on. Exactly. So I do think if they do make another Tough Enough series, which is probably still doubtful at the minute, they're gonna have to learn from this that the judges, the trainers need more of a say.
I think WWE in general, have a lot to learn from the way this Tough Enough has gone, especially with the Hulk Hogan debacle that occurred as well. That was a massive issue for them, and then obviously bringing Miz up to the judges' table. I guess that helps because of the plaudits that Miz has been getting, but just generally, I think WWE would rather forget this this season of Tough Enough sooner rather than later. Especially with the potential winners that we're going to get. I'm sorry, but we're not going to see them after a year.
So you're dead set on saying our winners are Sarah Lee and ZZ, definitely.
I'm 99% sure, unless they change the vote in the last episode and they change it so the judges get to pick someone, or if the judges band together and if Paige and Daniel Bryan save two people whilst the third is ZZ and or Sarah Lee, then I don't think we'll get anyone different winning the show, unfortunately.
So let's just say ZZ and Sarah Lee have been eliminated. They haven't.
Don't give them a hope so, because
they haven't. Let's just say it is the remainder of the competitors.
Well,
who would you see as the last female and male standing?
As in, we could see a situation like that potentially, with the idea that we could see ZZ, Sarah Lee, and Josh in the final three, and then Daniel Bryan saves Josh. We could then see either ZZ or Sarah Lee go home. I think in that case, we'll still see ZZ over Sarah Lee. If they were to have gone home, I think Gigi will win from the girls.
Okay, not Chelsea.
Oh, wow. Okay, because it's a popularity contest, it's difficult. Based on ability and the way that they've been handling themselves in the ring, I think Gigi is the strongest girl.
Yeah.
But Chelsea will win out of the three, if you're not including Sarah Lee.
Okay.
I guess we should just rank them. I think that would probably make more sense.
Yeah.
So Sarah, fortunately, is top. Yeah. Then it's Gigi, then it's Chelsea, and then it's Amanda.
Do you think Amanda could be the next one to be eliminated?
I think out of the four, she's the weakest. Out of the four girls, she's the weakest. But I don't think she should have gone this week.
Okay, she's got a week to prove herself now.
Yeah, I think it's a difficult one. And then from the guys' side, obviously ZZ is unfortunately top.
Mm. Then I think this is tough now. Tanner and Josh.
I think Josh showed last week that he's popular for some reason or another. He's got the look, he's got the size, he's going from strength to strength. I think he's an outside favourite to win.
I can see him win. I think even if he doesn't win, I think he's going to be the favourite to actually get himself a contract because of the look. He's got the WWE look about him, which is key. He's obviously working hard, got himself into shape. They said it again, 35 pounds he lost since he started compared to ZZ, who's done pretty much
He lost 6 pounds this week, Rizzo.
6 pounds this week, then he eats a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Hey, that was an ode to Patrick.
Okay, so we let him off, do we?
Yeah, he's allowed. He was in mourning.
It's okay, so you'd say Josh has more of a chance than Tanner, who, as you said to me before, has shown an improvement.
Yeah, I would be happy with either Josh or Tanner winning the show. Who's the other? Is that it for the guys?
That is it. There's 3 guys left.
Marta left, yeah. Wow.
Surprising.
The show's dwindling down. I, for one, can't wait till it's over.
No, I think the fact that it's shown us to be a popularity contest and genuine people who want it while being eliminated, it doesn't really matter.
The thing is, shame on us, Rosa, for thinking it would be any different.
Yeah,
shame on us
learn
thinking
from this,
that it would be about athletic ability, because it's proven time and time again, every single week, WWE and Tough Enough show that it's nothing to do with how good they are in the ring. Look at the first challenge this week. It was climbing. What? I used to do that when I was 13.
What was it? It was remember the numbers. Focus.
Oh, 8, 5, 6, 1, 9, 5, and I don't remember what the last one was because I don't think it was ever told to us.
I have no idea. But it was Gigi who won that.
It was definitely 85 though.
Yeah.
Because someone said 86.
Some of the challenges are a bit pointless.
Questionable. And then The Miz said it at the end. He goes, well, these people don't know how to wrestle. All they know how to do is shoulder tackle and take a really, really bad frog splash from Tamina Snuka.
Shall we even get into Tamina?
Oh, no. Like, the saving grace of this show was seeing Sasha Banks.
Okay.
But Tamina Snuka is terrible.
I agree. I think all three of them were quite awkward standing in that ring anyway. It just felt forced a bit.
I think the divas in general are a bit awkward, and I don't really like Paige either. So
I was going to talk about that. We talked about The Miz. Successful now for him. He caused a stir. That's what he wanted to do. He's done it. But he's talking about him now. Paige, her attitude towards a number of competitors, towards The Miz, towards Bryan, towards Byron Saxton in general. It's I was asking you before, is this for the cameras or do we think this is Paige in real life?
No, this is a 21-year-old who, as Imran said last week, wants to be like Simon Cowell, who comes out here and acts the same way on Raw, acts the same way on pay-per-views. No one watches SmackDown, so I can't comment on that. But then she's only been acting this way since Tough Enough. So it does seem like it's a character that she's put together. It's just the way she's being portrayed on the show. This is the way that she's trying to take herself in this sort of direction. She's horrible at it. It's not believable. She just sounds like a spoilt brat.
Would you think she's bullying certain individuals, such as ZZ, who, as we said, what was the comment? He's only 19 years old.
But she's only 21. But then she's been, like you mentioned earlier, she's been brought up in a wrestling family.
Exactly. And for ZZ to move from where he lives to all this.
Well, this is the thing, because ZZ, as much as we hate him on the show, as much as he doesn't deserve to be there, and that's a fact, he doesn't deserve to be there.
I would just say we hate him, we just think he's not the deserving winner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. He does work for it. He doesn't have the body that the rest of them do, but he's trying. It's difficult to make a change.
The point of Tough Enough is to learn. And
this is the thing. He's come from a laid-back area, Louisiana, where he plays with alligators and helps out on his farm. That's what his day-to-day is. He's 19 years old. And to come to a place where he's expected to wake up early, work all day, and go to sleep, it's frustrating because
you have to sympathise with him.
Exactly. Sorry, the reason I got really annoyed then was I was just thinking back to the idea that he's working hard and stuff, but then someone like Patrick woke up early to watch the Beast and Me special and no one else did, and he's gone, and people like ZZ and Josh and Amanda and Sarah Lee are still there. That's really frustrating.
Exactly. So I think you can understand where Paige comes from. Maybe her way of going about it is over the top.
Yeah, I agree.
Tough Talk. Interesting from Marder at Tough Talk, his confrontation with ZZ, who stepped up. Surprisingly, I didn't think he'd do that. But away from that, what do you think of Byron Saxton replacing The Miz as the host?
You lose a little bit of the character that The Miz shows, but you gain, I guess, more of a personality from the participants. We really got to see Marder's anger and his frustration at being let go, something that was overshadowed, I guess, last week with Patrick leaving.
Yeah.
Because The Miz was there, and I think it's a situation where we didn't know how good it was going to be until The Miz was moved into his judge's role. So I think having Byron Saxton there allowed him to stay neutral, stay quiet, and listen. There was that beautiful visual of ZZ and Marder on one side on each side of the screen, with Byron Saxton in the middle, and Byron Saxton's there passing the microphone from one to the other, and they're both mic'd up. He doesn't need to be there.
Yeah.
But he's there in the background, and it's the perfect sort of character that we needed on Tough Talk, because he allows the rest of the people to really express themselves fully, and you have people like The Miz squaring off with Paige, and again Byron Saxton's the mediator there. You have Marta and ZZ on the stage, and again Byron Saxton's the mediator there. Is perfect. He makes everyone else look good.
That's good. I enjoyed Byron as a host. Successful first night for him as well. Just one thing I wanted to go back on before we move on. The Miz picking Marta. Do you think his reasoning to pick Marta was understandable when he said the blame game, where ZZ was dragging Marta down a bit in the in-ring challenge, and Marta obviously didn't do that well.
It was the same thing that Patrick got put up for in different words. Yeah,
but that's Patrick the thing. That's what happened. But Miz argued,
and he did exactly the same thing. Exactly. But I think it falls deeper than that, because if you really think about Marta's ability this week, he got beaten by ZZ in the first challenge.
Yeah.
And then the second challenge, I don't think ZZ was making Marta look bad. If anything, the way it seemed on TV, and this is the way it seemed on TV, and this is the way that the judges saw it as well, was, and this is again why the trainers should be judges more than the Miz, Daniel Bryan, and Paige, or maybe they should be the trainers. We saw, from what it looked like to us, it looked like Marta was making ZZ look bad.
Really?
Or at least to me, it didn't seem like one was pulling down the other. It seemed like they were both bad, but bringing the entire episode together, as you should, ZZ was stronger than Marta.
Okay.
In my opinion. So yeah, I think it's completely justified if you extrapolate it to everything else.
That's interesting. I can agree with that.
What do you think?
I don't know. I think the reasoning based on what the Miz said, what I'm focusing on is he picked him because he played the blame game, which I don't think is a strong enough reason to get him eliminated, when out of the two big guys, as Hulk Hogan said last week, Marta is showing the most improvement, and he looks like a superstar as well, which I don't think many expected at the beginning. But with the reason you said, I can't understand why he's gone. It probably did look like that on TV. I just think the reasoning for him to be in the bottom three wasn't strong enough, just on the blame game in general.
Was Gigi in the bottom three last week?
Gigi has never been in the bottom three as far as I'm aware.
But didn't she do the same sort of thing to Chelsea? Didn't she out Chelsea for having an injury? Wasn't that wrong?
True.
I guess it's slightly different, but
yeah,
I don't know.
It is
questionable.
Frustrating, but again, not long left now until we get our two winners. I think we know who they are anyway.
Yeah.
But it's still going to be interesting to see what does happen in the coming weeks. Please, if you're listening, let us know what you thought of Tough Enough, and what you think is going to happen, who you think the winners are, who your favourites are, who you don't like. And we look forward to hearing from you.
I think this is a really good opportunity right now just to say one really quick thing from Imran, which is Lucha Underground is the best show in the world. And I'd just like to add, it's a lot better than Tough Enough. So go watch that, people. It's an hour long, and it's fantastic.
There you have it. Imran's here, even though he's not here. Always stealing my spotlight. Thanks, Imran. Before we move on to another big-ish topic, we saw this past week on Monday Night Raw, massive announcement to kick off the show with Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, and Steph Rollins.
Family.
Full family, yeah. They grow up so fast, don't they? and it was SummerSlam, obviously taking place at the Barclays Center in August. 4-hour show. Massive news, considering it's on the same level as WrestleMania now, same time. I'm guessing it's starting an hour earlier, not lasting an hour later, please, because I don't want to stay up that late.
Hey, as long as it doesn't eat into my my SummerSlam kickoff show, which I love so much, I'm all for it.
Then again, your SummerSlam experience will probably ruin the next night on the WWE Network when they advertise.
Oh, horrible stuff. With that advert for the pay-per-view after SummerSlam, what's the pay-per-view after SummerSlam?
What do you make of the news that SummerSlam is going 4 hours? Good, bad? You don't need it?
I think we definitely need it. I think with the card the way it is, it looks like we're going to have a stacked deck of matches. We have even if people like Stephen Amell, the Green Arrow, doesn't turn up, even if we don't have an Intercontinental title match, I think there's still 8 or 9 matches on the card that we could potentially be getting, including such stars as like Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker, which is a rematch from last year's WrestleMania, and we're getting potential John Cena versus Seth Rollins feud as well. So I think definitely 4 hours.
John Cena. Yeah. Seth Rollins. Let's look at Cena in our next discussion. What do we call it? We call it the John Cena problem. Arif, do you want to share with me what this problem is?
Oh, of course. Well, Reza, the John Cena problem, as defined by the Oxford Webster Dictionary, is the idea that one John Cena, or Juan Cena, as he's known in Mexico, puts down his opponents and calls them jokes. And now, I'll be completely honest with you, I kind of feel really bad for last week because Imran was fighting so hard to say that WWE in general is burying Kevin Owens. And
again, if you want to listen back to that argument, please
by all means
tune into that podcast. It was last week's. Carry on.
Fantastic show, as I do say so myself. And obviously, like, I still don't agree with him wholeheartedly, but I do believe that it's John Cena himself in his promos, in his in-ring work that pulls back these other individuals such as Bray Wyatt, these other individuals such as Seth Rollins right now, as Kevin Owens. And do you want to know why, Reza?
You can tell me why.
I would love to tell you why. Because in his promos, he calls these people WWE Champion, WWE World Heavyweight Champion, NXT Champion,
yep,
Leader of the Flock, his WrestleMania opponent last year, the US Champion this year, Rusev. Yep. He calls them jokes.
Seems like such a small thing, but when you think about it,
you can't come out and call your biggest title holder at this moment in time, Seth Rollins, while he's standing in the ring with Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. You can't call him a joke. It doesn't work like that. That's not how you get heat. That's not how you get the crowd to cheer, because that ruins the brand. It dilutes the championship. It makes the champion look like he's beneath John Cena. You don't do that. You don't say, "Oh, you're a joke." He can come out and say, "Oh, the way you're acting is a joke," but you to actively call that person a joke is not becoming of a champion, of a role model. And it really frustrates me, because I really think of John Cena I thought of John Cena as this fantastic promo guy who used to come out and run down his opponents and stuff. But it seems like now he's tired and he's rehashing the same thing, and all he does is call people a joke, and it's just horrible.
Again, as you said, it's not just people in general, it's the top guys.
Yeah.
At the time.
The future of the company.
Yeah. The future versus a 37, 38-year-old United States champion.
Yep. And he calls them jokes. I mean, this is the thing. It's like, it would be fine, like, as I just said, it would be fine if he came out and said, "Look, the way you're handling yourself is wrong. You're supposed to be a champion," which he's done in the past. He's done that in the past. When he's faced people, "I respect you, CM Punk. I respect you, but the way you're handling yourself is wrong." To come out and say you are a joke when this person is the person who should be selling tickets, who should be putting bums in seats, who just faced Brock Lesnar and might add did a better job than John Cena did last year at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
To come out and actively call that person a joke it's not becoming of the face of the WWE. That's my problem with it.
I bet you were smiling at the end of the night, though, weren't you? In the
yeah.
When Seth Rollins, I shouldn't be laughing. When Seth Rollins accidentally broke John Cena's.
But then this I guess comes down to, and I'm sorry, I'm very vocal about this, Reza.
It's fine. It's your problem. I'm going to let you vent out your anger. I have
a huge problem with John Cena. Then this comes down to John Cena's ability in the ring and his bad decision making and how terrible he actually is. Because if you really think about it, he's had 5-star matches. 5-star matches, yes. Yeah. Against 5-star opponents, but he himself has not been 5-star. I mean, I'm sure we can name several matches this year that have been fantastic of his. So the triple threat at Royal Rumble, John Cena, Seth Rollins, and Brock Lesnar, amazing match. The 3 Kevin Owens matches recently, the one where he lost and the 2 that he won.
Exactly, they just went better and better.
5-star.
Yeah.
What else? Who else has he feuded with? So the Rusev matches have been fantastic. Look at Rusev's size.
He had the Sami Zayn Open Challenge as well. That was a good match with Sami's injury.
The Adrian Neville match as well. The Open Challenge as well.
Cesaro.
Where Adrian Neville nearly won. The Cesaro matches, fantastic. And yet, he's not that good in the ring.
It's the independent guys, isn't it?
This is the look at who he's faced. He's not had 5-star matches against Sheamus. He's not had 5-star matches against Randy Orton. He's not had 5-star matches against Roman Reigns. He has 5-star matches against 5-star opponents, people who can really work in the ring, and they make him look good. But on the flip side, he doesn't make them look good. Because look at the moves that he pulls out against them. He tries springboard stunners that look weak and don't look like they hit.
I hate that move so much. I don't know why. It's
horrible.
But doesn't connect.
It's topped off by the flip senton handstand thing that he does. John Cena, if you're listening, which I really hope somehow you are, this is why people don't like you. We love the fact that you do everything for the WWE. We love the fact that you do everything for the WWE Universe. We love the fact that you do everything for the Make-A-Wish kids. We love the fact that everybody respects you. That's not the problem with you. The problem is you have this ability to bury people because you rehash the same words every single time, and you're not good in the ring. Unfortunately, you don't deserve the spot you're in because of the ability you have in the ring and because of your mic skills at this moment in time. And this is the problem, and I guess this is why he shouldn't be in the main event of SummerSlam, but he will be.
That's exactly what I was heading off at. The John Cena problem, an extension from that is Seth Rollins versus John Cena. What do we think that's going to be? WWE World Heavyweight Champion versus United States Champion? Yeah, but then we've just seen this match on Raw as well. What's the selling point apart from the fact that it's a title match?
I think the selling point of the pay-per-view is Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker. Yeah. It doesn't matter what the undercard is.
Okay, well, what will this match add to that card? Apart from the fact that Seth Rollins will probably make this a really good match.
Yeah, apart from that, maybe just a new WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
You think that could happen?
Unfortunately, I do. No, I don't want it to, and I don't think John Cena will win it. As in, don't forget, we do have a Money in the Bank briefcase holder, right?
Yes, we do.
Although current plans with that look like it's going to be Sheamus versus Reigns at Survivor Series for the briefcase.
Is it?
That's what I've heard in my rumor mill from those emails I've been receiving from the listeners.
For the actual briefcase?
That's what I've heard. And then potentially then Reigns cashes in at WrestleMania to face the triple threat of Lesnar versus John Cena. This is all pure speculation on my part, and it's all maybe like more wishful thinking than anything.
This is genuinely the first I've heard of it.
That would be awesome, right? This is why WWE won't ever do it.
It's too good to be true.
So looking at SummerSlam, yeah, I really do think we'll get John Cena winning the WWE World Heavyweight Championship from Seth Rollins and then keeping it till WrestleMania.
You did pick out Sheamus. We'll focus on Sheamus in just a little bit. The thing with John Cena, United States Champion, what do you think that does to the title? Either he loses it before SummerSlam, which, as you said to me, probably doesn't make sense, who's going to lose it to, or we don't get a United States Championship match, which is a shame because the title has been made relevant thanks to Cena. He has done a good job. I can't take that away from him. He's done a good job of making that championship relevant, obviously because of the matches. What do you think that does for the title if it's not on the line at SummerSlam?
Well, look, if he wins it, if he wins the WWE World Heavyweight Championship whilst having the US title, then that dilutes the US title. That can't happen. That would be a travesty.
I think
the WWE. It would ruin. It would, for me, it would ruin everything that the WWE and John Cena has worked towards doing with the US title.
The only way that could happen, that could happen, but I think if it does, it will only last a couple of minutes.
And then we get a
Yeah.
Sheamus cash in. I think then we're guaranteed a Sheamus cash in, unfortunately.
So what would you rather have at SummerSlam? Would you rather have WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins taking on John Cena, or would you rather have Seth Rollins, the champion, taking on the United States champion John Cena? Do you think he needs to drop the title before SummerSlam, or will
This
he?
is the difficult thing, because if he was to drop the title, he should have done it at Battleground. Now the question is who he drops his title to. If he drops it to Kevin Owens, then it does feel like an afterthought, because Seth Rollins must interfere for that to happen, and then that's not the way you... Once you've built this United States Championship up so much, you don't want him to then lose it in such a manner just because of he was costed because of interference, and then John Cena straight away goes after Seth Rollins instead of worrying about his US title. It makes the US title look pointless. He can't drop it to anyone else, though. The only person he should drop it to is Kevin Owens,
which does look unlikely.
See, this is the way I would have booked it from Battleground, because I think John Cena losing to Kevin Owens made the most sense at that point. Then they could have had their rematch last week at Raw, and then you get the Rollins run in after Cena has mouthed off at Rollins earlier in the night. That still makes Kevin Owens look strong. He can then go into his feud with Cesaro, retain the US title, keep it, and then eventually get the Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn match for the US title at WrestleMania. That would have been the beautiful story to bring Sami Zayn back and really make Sami Zayn into that celebrated character. Now it's really difficult because you've got your United States Championship on the challenger for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I honestly don't know where they're going to go with it. Would you prefer Cena to hold the title and then go after the WWE World Heavyweight Championship and then not know how he's going to hold two titles? I mean, he's still got the Champ is Here shirt with the US title, so...
That's the thing, it's tricky because you want the United States Championship to stay relevant, which it is, which is good because we've needed that, and Cena's doing that better than anyone in recent years. But, I want a United States Championship match at SummerSlam. It's the biggest SummerSlam in years, probably in history. 4 hours long, Barclays Center. There's going to be, amazing match after amazing match. It'll be a shame to have, Ryback defending 20 Championship, Primetime Players defending Tag Team Championship. Nikki Bella probably won't defend the Divas Championship, but no one cares. Seth Rollins defending the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. You want the United States title on the line. And if he keeps it, there's no United States Championship being defended on such a massive night. So I want both things to happen. They can't happen. I can't see Cena pulling double duty either. It makes absolutely no sense.
No sense at all.
I think what's going to happen is Cena keeps the title until SummerSlam, and either he loses clean to Rollins, or he wins the WWE World Heavyweight Championship and we get a cash in. And there'll be no United States Championship match at SummerSlam.
That's frustrating, though.
I don't think the WWE really thought this out.
Yeah, I don't either. I guess this is going to be one of those, let's wait and see what WWE do and hope they don't disappoint us.
Do you think they'll disappoint us?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Of course they will. Because that United States Championship should be around the waist of Kevin Owens. Not that Kevin Owens has been buried because of he's not got it, but just purely because now we've got John Cena in a feud with the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and he's holding a title that he needs to drop.
Do you not think he feels inferior looking at Rollins with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship?
Not when he calls him a joke. Not when he calls him a fool. This is, I guess, this is going back to that problem as well, because Cena makes... It feels like the role should be reversed. It feels like Cena...
Yeah.
Because when Cena comes out with the United States Championship, automatically your idea is that the United States Champion is inferior to the WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah.
So then Cena is, again, presented as the underdog, which he isn't. And I really thought last week that they weren't doing this again. This is the point I was trying to make last week, where Cena isn't the underdog anymore, and he came out on top of Kevin Owens. Yeah. But we expected him to. If anything, Kevin Owens winning would have been the shock. But now he's coming out on Raw and he's facing off against the WWE World Heavyweight Champion at SummerSlam as the United States Champion, and that makes him look inferior, whereas we know that's not actually the case.
I think Rollins tried to do a good job of trying to make the WWE Championship look bigger. When he did say, I'll defend this, you stick to your little open challenges. But again, it's frustrating, as you said. Something we'll have to endure and see what happens.
I think we will see him drop it, though. I think I don't know who to. I really hope it's not to Kevin Owens. I hope it's to. Um, uh, no, I hope it's to Kevin Owens. I can't think of anyone else that he could drop it to.
I think it made more sense to have him drop it already. Now it makes no sense
They've
to drop it.
They put themselves in a really difficult position.
Mm.
Well done, WWE.
So then, if you're still with us, please let us know what you think of the John Cena problem, as beautifully put by Arif.
And if you've skipped earlier, email us.
Please email us.
podcast@gmail.com.
We want something to reply to, please. Moving on, I mean, you did highlight a number of opponents for John Cena. You said one of the opponents he's never had a 5-star match with is Sheamus. Sheamus, the current Money in the Bank contract holder who could cash in at SummerSlam, you never know. I want to discuss his Money in the Bank reign as a whole. One thing I want to go back to is the Roman Reigns rumour that you've just dropped on me, which I'm still a bit
bombshell
surprised about.
I'd like to call it a pipe bomb, but it's neither one of those. It's neither pipe nor bomb.
Was Sheamus the right winner for that briefcase?
No.
Why is that?
Not at all. Sheamus was the right person the wrong person at the right time. He'd just come back. He'd got like a little bit of a heel run going. Not that anyone was going to cheer for him if he was face anyway. But he came back, and him being in that match, taking the briefcase down and ultimately winning it, I guess, is just a placeholder so they could have this Roman Reigns versus Bray Wyatt feud. And that's honestly how I think of it.
So you genuinely believe Roman Reigns is going to take it off him?
I don't think Sheamus will win the briefcase. Sorry, win the title within the next year. I think he'll lose the briefcase. I think he's a placeholder briefcase champion.
But wouldn't that seem like fans already think Roman Reigns shouldn't be World Heavyweight Champion because he needs to earn it properly? Do you think
I think he's been proving it.
Well, I agree.
Out.
Well, I agree. I just mean, say he takes the briefcase off Sheamus in a one-on-one match. Do you think that will prove it, considering Sheamus had to win it against 5 other men? Do you think that will change the fans' minds?
I think ultimately, no one will really care. I think as much as people hate Roman Reigns and think that he doesn't deserve his spot, people hate Sheamus a lot more. And putting Reigns in a feud with someone that people really, really hate and really think is boring. It's like the Roman Reigns Big Show feud.
There's a way to get
getting cheers.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he was opposite the Big Show in the ring. I think if the WWE is smart, this is what they need to do. They need to capitalize on this, and then eventually have the Roman Reigns John Cena feud. Because in that feud, Roman Reigns will get cheered. Unfortunately, for everything I said before, though, they won't have a 5-star match.
That is true. I don't know. I mean, when that Money in the Bank match happened and Roman Reigns was at the top of the ladder, I was genuinely pleased that he's.
So was I.
As regardless of what everyone says, he doesn't deserve it, or he's being fed the opportunities, or he's a favourite amongst Triple H and whatnot. I was genuinely pleased when he was on the top. Obviously, I was a bit anxious when Bray Wyatt appeared because I know Bray Wyatt hasn't really hit the heights we've expected. Roman Reigns hasn't hit the heights we've expected. Throw them together, it could be a disaster. It hasn't been a disaster, which is good. Sheamus has been a disaster for me. He does not look like a Money in the Bank holder. He hasn't looked like a Rollins.
He doesn't look like a main eventer. This is the problem. He
constant losses as well.
Exactly. He's not believable. He's in the Randy Orton section now, I guess. So you could put him and Randy Orton in a match every single time on Raw. No one cares. It would be the same way for the next 50 years, and no one would still care. They wouldn't get any better. They wouldn't get any worse. It's just a placeholder. He doesn't deserve to be the Money in the Bank winner, and the sad truth is he might win the title, but I don't think he will. But he might win the title.
Okay, let's take out this Roman Reigns scenario. Say that doesn't happen. The plan is to keep the briefcase on Sheamus. When do you think he would cash in? When would be the best time to cash in?
So you like your what ifs?
I do like my what ifs.
The best time for him to cash in would be
SummerSlam if Cena takes it, because no one Cena as champion.
I'd rather have. Oh no, I wouldn't. That's the thing. No, I don't. Oh no, no, no. Because now I'm thinking that they'll swerve us with Rollins winning, and then Sheamus cashing in on Rollins,
Would
and
you
then
have?
Rollins will be face.
Do you think that could happen?
No.
Do you think it should happen? Rollins turning his face right now. I think the authority should implode for that.
And then we get Rollins versus Triple H at WrestleMania.
Mm.
Oh wow, Sheamus having this briefcase gives me so many sleepless nights. It's unbelievable. I like to predict and plan the WWE pay-per-view list for the next couple of months. And Sheamus having this briefcase, genuinely, the only way I can see this moving forward, logically, is for Sheamus to lose the briefcase, drop it. I honestly couldn't tell you where do you think, where's the logical place for him to win the title from now to WrestleMania?
If it was based on logic, he shouldn't have won the briefcase in the first place.
This is the thing.
Yeah.
So there are so many illogical choices that the WWE have made over the past couple of months.
I do think, based on the fact that he's buddies with Triple H, means he will probably get a reign as WWE World Heavyweight Champion. So if it does happen, I can see SummerSlam being an event where it does happen, because there's not a lot of focus on Sheamus right now. As you said, he's mixing with Orton, doing absolutely nothing. So it will be a bit of a shock if he does do it. As you know, this rumor that you've brought up with Roman Reigns, I probably would like to see that happen. Mm-hmm. Because Sheamus to me brings nothing to the briefcase.
Where do you see Sheamus and Orton at SummerSlam? Do you see them on the card? I put them down as a singles match for the Money in the Bank briefcase, just to add another element to it.
That probably will happen if it does.
See, they
have to be on the card.
Then if Orton wins it, oh no! But then are we going to see a merry-go-round? If Orton wins and then someone wins it from Orton, and then that would be pretty cool. So it turns into a little bit of a hardcore title.
I guess that could work. As in what we saw with the Intercontinental Championship, moving from one person to another, but this time actually having a match for it to move around. That could happen, ultimately ending with Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that, and at least that way it makes it look like Reigns earns his spot because he has to defeat people regularly to keep that briefcase, and then eventually he calls himself the undisputed Money in the Bank briefcase holder, and then...
So basically we're saying Sheamus shouldn't win.
Definitely. No chance.
There was something you brought up earlier. What they could have done was have Roman Reigns win the briefcase at Money in the Bank, and then have Bray Wyatt feud with him for the briefcase. That probably would have been far more entertaining and add a bit more value to the briefcase, which is not what we're getting right now.
Yep.
Than what we're seeing. That would have been a bit more interesting.
Well, look, Roman Reigns having the briefcase would have built him up in the same vein that Seth Rollins has built up with the briefcase. You could have seen him carry it around every single week, show that it's his life and his livelihood to have this briefcase, and it proves that he will get better and he will show that he deserves to be in this spot, just because he's going to be there with that briefcase every single week, and he's going to be taking out people. And him versus Bray Wyatt for the briefcase would have been great. It would have been a special sort of feud, because you would have been able to get the oh, well, you cost me this opportunity where I could have actually won the briefcase. Whereas now we're getting oh, well, you cost me the opportunity, so I'm costing you yours.
Yeah.
Now it's turned into, oh, anyone but you, Roman, which I think is fine, but it would have added a whole new dimension if the briefcase was on the line.
As in, because Sheamus and Orton could do the exact same thing without the briefcase.
Yeah, they don't need a briefcase. Exactly. They've been there long enough. Sheamus has been the Money in the Bank briefcase holder in the past. He doesn't need it again. Roman, give it to a kid. They did the best in the world last year with Seth Rollins. They gave it to him, and then he cashed in on the grandest stage of them all, and he looked so strong for doing it. And he'd never been champion before. Do the same thing with Roman Reigns.
Do you think Roman Reigns cashing in... What, you said John Cena, didn't you? Yeah,
I would have loved to have had him cash in. Either cash in on John Cena, or have him cash in for a triple threat at WrestleMania. So we already have like a say, for example, Brock Lesnar beats John Cena for the WWE Championship. This is going way ahead in the future. So Cena wins. Cena wins. Brock Lesnar wins. And then Cena wins the Royal Rumble. So we have Cena versus Lesnar at WrestleMania. And then Roman Reigns cashes in his Money in the Bank opportunity beforehand and announces himself to be in the match. So we get the triple threat. And I think that's the best way to then get the title to Reigns.
Okay, I can agree with that. Would you not say people would say cashing in on Rollins kind of gives him that revenge when Rollins took Reigns' opportunity, and now Reigns can take the title from Rollins?
I'd rather see Rollins move into a student versus master feud.
Yeah.
Once he loses the title, and I think him losing the title to Cena now would help that, because then you could go all the way back to now, where from WrestleMania, where Rollins is, or maybe it's a little bit too early, but where Rollins is just the whiny, complainy. Well, I can't believe you let this happen. Maybe even start that from WrestleMania, from the Royal Rumble. Hey, Cena doesn't have to win the title now. We could have Rollins lose the title to Lesnar at the Royal Rumble, and then get Cena to win the Royal Rumble that night. As long as we get the triple threat, I'd be happy. And then we have Rollins versus Triple H as well.
Okay, that does make sense. It gets me look forward to see what could happen.
It's not gonna happen, Reza. Don't get too excited. It never does.
I know. I'm not holding off for it. I'm just saying, interested. Moving on now. Again, before we wrap things up, just quickly. Reports this week suggesting Sting is not going to be at SummerSlam, which is interesting because it's 4 hours, biggest SummerSlam in history. What was the rumor? It was him, Ambrose, and Reigns taking on the Wyatt family. Eric Rowan's injured, so they need a new member.
Bo Wyatt.
We went with Bo Wyatt. Again, there were.
Really?
Pardon?
Who is it really?
If they go with it. Maybe they go with a standard tag team match, Harper and Wyatt. I think it was before Monday Night Raw, as in he's been teasing it himself on social media. Adam Rose joining the Wyatt family, obviously reverting back to Leo Kruger, what we saw down in NXT. For some reason they ditched that. Maybe because he is quite similar to Wyatt. Maybe that probably was the reason. But what do you think would that be good if it was to happen?
So has he actually turned into Leo Kruger on?
He hasn't. On his social media, he's posting pictures, dropping hints, things like that. Maybe he's not going to join the Wyatt family. Maybe he will just go back to Leo Kruger in general. But rumours are saying he will be the third member. Whereas I think Imran last week did mention that the Ascension are a good choice, but obviously that means 4 members. So I'm not
versus currently 2.
Yeah.
So ultimately, whoever they put into this will lose, because the Wyatts aren't going to be, especially if Sting is on their side.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. So I think, for me, I would put Bo Dallas in there, because him losing doesn't affect him in any way. Bo Dallas at the moment is part joke character, part jobber. Unfortunately, he has a lot of potential, but WWE aren't using him in the right way. But I think putting him in that sort of dynamic, and then eventually having Bo Dallas and Luke Harper as a tag team would be the way to move this forward, in my opinion, more than Adam Rose. It's funny that you say Sting isn't going to be at SummerSlam, or currently isn't reported to be at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I think they're just reports he might be there. I'm guessing he needs to appear beforehand to actually be at SummerSlam.
What do you think will happen with Sting now? What do you think his next step is? Or do you think he'll even have another match?
I think he should. I think even if he doesn't appear at SummerSlam, it won't be the end of the world. I still think Survivor Series being a big pay-per-view, Sting could be there.
Sting Taker?
Sting Taker could happen.
That's what people are saying, but...
Exactly, his last...
Do you want that Survivor Series? I know there's all that nostalgia, but do you not want it at WrestleMania?
But that's the thing, I think WrestleMania brings a whole sense of, you need to put on the best match of your life. And
Sting Taker at this point in time would not.
That's the thing, whereas Survivor Series is a massive pay-per-view. What is it, the second biggest in the WWE?
Well, I'd say SummerSlam, but that's only because my birthday's in August.
Okay, on paper, what is it's Survivor Series on paper?
On paper, if you write it bigger, then
SummerSlam
right.
will be bigger. But yeah,
Just
as in
write it on 2 lines instead of one.
the WWE are focusing a lot on making their big four events huge. They're doing it with SummerSlam. I can see them doing it with Survivor Series as well. If SummerSlam at 4 hours is successful, and for that reason, I think Sting and Undertaker can happen at Survivor Series. So the WrestleMania expectation is not there, but we get the match, and that allows Undertaker to finally get his third and final match with Lesnar
Oh
at
no!
WrestleMania.
Don't say that. Why?
I
We
think
don't need to see it 3 times.
I think that's what's going to happen. Apparently, the Undertaker is going to get one victory over Brock Lesnar. The plan is for them to have 2 matches. He's going to pick up one victory, so it'll be interesting to see whether it's at SummerSlam or whether he does it at WrestleMania in Texas, which is about half an hour away from where he lives, calls it a day, and gets into the Hall of Fame.
But do you want his last ever match to be against Brock Lesnar? I think there are bigger feuds that he could be in. I mean, I'd rather see him versus Demon Kane.
That
I know it
makes
won't
sense.
be as good a match, but I think the nostalgia effect and the fact that it just means so much more is.
Well, I mean, the same could be said for Sting as well, then, because if the match isn't going to be good, but the nostalgia itself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'd definitely rather see Sting versus Taker. I think it's icon versus icon. Remember the Hulk Hogan Rock match? Rock carried Hulk Hogan through that match because of Hulk's age and his racism. It was not a fantastic in-ring match, but do you remember the reactions?
That's what it is. If you get a reaction, regardless of how bad the match is, you've won.
Exactly. We could have the same thing. It's not going to go down as a classic, but no Undertaker match is going to go down as a classic right now.
That's true.
The last classic Undertaker match was probably Undertaker Shawn Michaels or Undertaker Triple H, and the latter in both of those matches carried the Undertaker through them.
I agree. As in, I wouldn't want Lesnar to be his final opponent. Based on reports, that's what could happen. So we probably should be prepared for that. Or the WWE, just swerve us again, and we get something completely different.
I guess we'll still get Reigns versus Cena.
Hopefully.
In that sense, because that would be that as a main event of WrestleMania. As long as the WWE books Reigns right from now till Mania, and doesn't drop the ball on him in the sense of doesn't push him too hard, I think where he is on the card right now is perfect because they're trying to make amends. Let's just hope they carry it on.
Just before we move on, just final point on this. Say Sting and Undertaker, this is their last year in the WWE competing. Say they don't get each other in the ring. Who do you think would be Sting's final opponent? I'm guessing he needs to pick up one victory in the WWE. He's had one match and he's lost. He deserves one victory at least.
He's 0-1 at WrestleMania, nonetheless. That's the thing. Who can he face that's big enough for Sting that he can then beat?
I think what makes
Triple H would have been perfect last year.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have lost Triple H. But that was apparently Triple H's pride.
Vince would never let WCW pick up a win over WWE. I don't think Triple H would either.
They could have had a rematch at SummerSlam with Triple H winning.
I think what makes sense if they're going to go with the Undertaker and Sting clash is to have Demon Kane take on Sting. That could set up a match with Undertaker. That does make sense.
So I'd be happy seeing Demon Kane versus Sting at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Sting winning and then going after the Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Exactly, which I think fans will be happy either way, whichever way it goes.
Definitely.
In Texas as well, where they both live.
That would be fantastic.
Interesting. Let us know what you think. What will happen at SummerSlam with Sting, Undertaker, and the plan as well. Right, finally, in the main event. I have for you in the main event.
Ooh.
A superstar who probably hasn't been in the main event, so he should be honoured that I'm putting him in the main event. Dolph Ziggler.
Dolph Ziggler, main event on the main event podcast.
He's in the main event. Dolph Ziggler. I'm just put it out there. Dolph Ziggler, have the WWE dropped the ball with him, or is he, were the WWE right?
Oh, the WWE was right.
Really?
That's it. It's that simple. WWE knew he wasn't a main eventer.
Okay.
He has now proven himself to not be a main eventer, unfortunately.
Interesting.
I just think to be a main eventer, and it comes back to what I was saying earlier, you can't just be good in the ring. You have to be good on the mic.
Right.
John Cena, average in the ring, great on the mic. Seth Rollins, great in the ring, average on the mic. You can't be great in the ring and terrible on the mic. The only person that I can think of that has made it to those heights, and that's purely because of his wrestling ability and his passion for this business, and the fact that he really does kill himself when he's in the ring, is Daniel Bryan. He's the only and last person that I can see that has that charisma from not being on the microphone, and that's because of the way he's been booked. And Dolph Ziggler was booked in a similar sort of vein, but then as soon as he opens his mouth, he just sounds like an idiot.
As I was mentioning to you earlier, that for some reason, as I said, everyone was a Dolph Ziggler fan the night he defeated Del Rio.
But then look at his situation at that point. He was in a stable with Big E and AJ. He was the hottest thing going. He was a heel, and he was the hottest thing going.
I agree. Since that day, my mind has changed about him. For some reason, I don't know what it is. Maybe you can help me out. I genuinely have no idea.
He's not likable.
Dolph Ziggler irritates me so much. Every little mannerism from the second his music hits, I would be, okay, yes, Dolph Ziggler going to get a good match and whatnot, be excited. But now it's like, oh my god, really? 10 minutes of Dolph Ziggler, then the little hip shuffle, whatever you want to call it, on the stage.
Well, he's a hipster.
And the shadow boxing as well. That's me like, oh, please stop. And then his little kiss on Lana's lips, and then he walks down with his with his 25 denim jackets on, and everything. Everything about me irritates him, and I've realised, fans do want him to do well, but he hasn't done a lot himself to make it to the top. I think the WWE were, in my opinion. Sorry.
If he was heel Ziggler, as his Twitter handle is at heel Ziggler, then he'd be more entertaining because he's better as a heel. Right now this is going to be a controversial one, but I think The Miz is better than Dolph Ziggler as an all-round performer. The Miz, from Tough Enough, from Tough Talk, is a better performer than Dolph Ziggler, and that would have been ludicrous to even consider maybe a year ago or 2 years ago.
You probably would have been laughed at with that statement.
But this is the thing: The Miz has headlined WrestleMania, and now I can see why.
Do you think that he peaked too early then? Because considering he hasn't done much since then.
Who, Miz?
Yeah.
Miz is in the best possible situation that he could be in. He's fantastic on the mic. He's fantastic in the ring. Oh, he's average in the ring, sorry. He's good on Tough Talk. He's good on Tough Enough.
I think he has changed people's minds with his Tough Enough work. Definitely.
Look, and this goes back to something I was mentioning last week. You can only get 2 people in the main event. That's where your main event is.
Yeah.
Last month it was Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar. At WrestleMania it was Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. You can only ever have 2 people in the main event. That is your main event. And unfortunately, that's why people like The Miz seem like they're being buried, because they're in the card or they're in feuds with the Big Show and they look weak, but they're not. Because ultimately they're going home with a massive paycheck and they're getting cheered or they're getting respected by their peers.
And they're doing what they love as well, so you can't knock them for that. With
John Cena, Kevin Owens. Yeah. Kevin Owens is nowhere near the main event, and he was apparently buried last week when he lost to John Cena, or 2 weeks ago when he lost to John Cena. But he wasn't going to be in the main event anyway, and he'd still be in the same situation he's in now. He'd still be feuding with Cesaro. The only difference is he'd be coming out with a shiny belt, a belt that's probably too early for him.
With Ziggler, going back to Ziggler.
Sorry.
It's fine, it's fine. It was
so much to talk about.
It was all valid points.
So much.
With not Kevin Owens, but I was about to divert you again. With Dolph Ziggler, do you think fans could be to blame? As in, they know the situation is not going to change, but the expectation is there every single week, and when the expectation is not met, we're more frustrated. Do we need to lower our expectations for Ziggler?
But then, isn't this the same situation as Royal Rumble and Daniel Bryan?
Could be.
So, the Royal Rumble for WrestleMania 30, Daniel Bryan was eliminated, or he wasn't even in the Royal Rumble, sorry. And then WWE fans went in uproar, and and then we got a triple threat. And so WWE fans have learnt from that and realised that if they cry enough, that they get their milk and they get a cookie as well.
What makes the Ziggler situation different to the Daniel Bryan situation then? Apart from the obvious that Daniel Bryan is superior in the ring, or is that the only reason? Because Daniel Bryan seems to connect a lot more. Maybe it's because he's relatable.
And he's got a catchphrase that gets him over a little bit more than Ziggler's. I think Daniel Bryan is generally, like you said, he's a better wrestler, so he connects more in that sort of aspect as well. But also, WWE tried with him. They could have pushed him down in the same sort of vein as they have with Ziggler, but they gave Daniel Bryan an opportunity that kind of showed that he was kind of a B+ player just because of his injuries, not because of anything else. But I guess they're probably not willing to make the same sort of, I don't want to say mistakes, but for a lack of a better term, mistakes with Ziggler.
Probably a risk, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. That's exactly what it is, and he's had concussions in the past. He is injury prone in that sort of sense. His style is very much leave everything in the ring. He's not the sort of person that the WWE wants as their main event guy, and unfortunately, because of stuff like that, he isn't going to be pushed, and then it's ultimately led to the people, or at least us, resenting him now because he's in feuds with people that just make no sense. He's acting like a womanizer, but now he's in love with Lana, and he's in a terrible feud with a star like Rusev.
It's a shame.
Ziggler needs to be heel again. The quicker you make Ziggler heel, the better you make him, and he can act like he act like a heel like no other. He's now acting like a heel as a face, and it doesn't work for him because you have to tone it down. It's the same problem we had with CM Punk. Same problem we had with CM Punk, where CM Punk was a fantastic heel, probably the best heel in the company at the time, and then you make him face and you dilute him down.
I agree with that. That does make sense. I don't think we're ever going to get Ziggler at the heights he was at when he defeated Del Rio. Championship picture. Would you agree?
We don't need him at that point. We don't. We just need him to be entertaining. At the moment, he isn't. Be a Miz. Be an entertaining heel.
Yeah, it's just Dolph Ziggler is, for me, in one word, irritating. Just grinds my gears. But yeah, that is it for today. Dolph Ziggler's short time in the main event ends.
Oh, but we have so much more to talk about.
But we'll be back next week with Imran, hopefully, if he's feeling better.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yes. Again, thank you for joining me. That's all we have time for on the Main Event Podcast. Please leave a comment down below, download, recommend us to all your friends who follow WWE.
Send everyone your well wishes.
Yes, that as well, and send emails to Arif so he feels loved and wanted. Thank you again, Arif, for joining me.
Gotta be loved.
Thank you for joining me this week, Arif.
Thank you very much, Reza. It's been a fantastic show.
Thank you guys for listening. Continue to follow us on all our social media platforms and everything. And we'll see you again next week on the Main Event Podcast.